Kala, and even some of their own kind, the Dark Templar, had chosen not to reveal themselves so profoundly. "I'm flying blind," Jim thought as he kept running, trying to cover as much ground as he could while jostling Sarah as little as possible. "We all are. Every man, every woman. We're flying blind, and we never really know shit about any other heart or mind but our own." "Sir," cried Fraser, "look." Mortified, Jim realized he had been so lost in his thoughts that he hadn't seen the tiny speck in the sky that was growing larger and larger, its shape becoming clearer until he could see the familiar and welcome curves of the dropship, Fanfare. It looked more beautiful to Jim than just about any other sight he had ever seen, except for the look Sarah had given him as he bore her away. But as cheers and whoops of delight went up from the weary soldiers, the sound was joined by another, a buzzing, humming noise. Jim swore. The Fanfare, like all dropships, had no weapons, and it couldn't land to rescue them until Jim's team cleared the area first. "Fire at will," Jim ordered. "Ain't gonna let a few pesky Zerg get in our way." The soldiers agreed, and they fired on the Zerg with even more intensity than they had demonstrated before. Zerg blew apart into pieces, and this time, the raiders didn't spare those that stopped to eat. Jim and his soldiers kept going, winning the prize step by slogging step, spattered in Zerg blood and ichor. And finally, blessedly, the Fanfare settled on the rocky but mostly flat ground. The ramp extended, and the pilot, Will Merrick, beckoned fiercely. "Hurry! There's a whole slew of them heading this way." "Any sign of the second team?" "None," Merrick said. Then his eyes fell on the blanket-wrapped form. "Damn! That her?" "That's her," Jim said. "She's in shock," said Preston. She reached to take Jim's precious burden away from him, lifting Sarah as easily as he did, thanks to the mag's armor. Jim didn't want to let Sarah go, but she needed what the mags could do for her right now, more than what he could do. He handed her over to Preston, feeling a lurch in his heart as he watched the mag carry her inside. Kerrigan was eased into a seat and hooked up to an IV drip and what looked to Jim about 6,000 other tubes or portable monitors. The words forced themselves out of Jim's mouth, a quiet plea. "Be gentle." The irony did not escape him. It was a hell of a request to show gentleness to the murderers of billions. But Preston understood, nodding wordlessly as she went about her job of trying to save Kerrigan's life. Sarah gave no sign that she was even peripherally aware of anything. "Hang on, Sarah. You're tough. You can survive. Don't let it be too late. Not after all this." "Damn, sir. We need to get going," the pilot shouted. "We got another bunch of Zerg incoming." "What kind?" "We had to evade a whole shitload of mutants just to get down here, sir," Merrick replied. "Once we hit atmosphere, they went after someone else. But sensors indicate there's a mess of Zerglings and Hydralisks that seem intent on finishing the job." Jim glanced over at Sarah. He desperately wished she could be gone out of danger, safely in the Hyperion sick bay, but he couldn't abandon the men who had risked everything to save her. "We ain't leaving my mad to be Zerg fodder, nor that artifact to be destroyed," Jim snapped. "Keep her as stable as possible. Her survival is paramount. If I give the order for you to take off and get to safety, and leave me behind, you do it. Do you understand?" "Perfectly, sir." Jim looked again at Sarah, her skin painted an unnatural hue by the artificial lighting, then jumped out of the dropship. The doors closed behind him. His raiders joined them, one of them handling Jim a Gauss rifle, while he had treasured every moment he had tasted with Sarah in his arms again. Jim was also glad to be hoisting a rifle, and tackling an active role in the fight once more. He could hear the Zerg coming now, feel the earth tremble beneath their onslaught. Grinning a little, Raynor lifted his rifle, pointed it at the roiling cloud of gray dust, and began to fire. And that was Chapter 1 of Starcraft 2 Flashpoint.